Did you get the sense with the way this game was going that if even one of your guys got marginally hot, that would be what you needed?
Yeah, we weren't playing our best in the first half in a lot of ways. Sometimes that's all it takes, one guy to get back to his average game. But across the board, just too many turnovers, too many offensive rebounds, second chance points, things that we've emphasized. And with that being said, they had 47 points at the half. We felt we were in good shape if we just cleaned up turnovers, limit them. You know, they had 22 more shots and all that. So small things like that, it helps obviously to get some of our guys going offensively. But what was important is that we cut down the turnovers, cut them in half, only 5 in the second half, and only 8 second chance points. And that's where you get the result, 38-point half, holding them to 80 points.
Ime, after, I think, Jalen's second or third turnover, you pulled him. It seemed like there was a conversation there. What did you tell him? Did you tell him to calm down? And what happened when he flipped the script in the second half?
Just the same thing. You know, the crowd is there. You're acting like you're surprised that they're reaching and poking it from behind. And it wasn't as much like live ball turnovers, us trying to make a nice pass. It was literally getting taken from us. And so be strong with the ball. It's 5 games in now. We're having way too many of these type of turnovers, not being strong with the ball in the crowd. He understood that. And to your point, I think we talked about at halftime, them having 47 points and us giving up 34 of those with extra second chance points and turnovers. So knew if we cleaned that up, we'd be in good shape. And obviously he and the rest of the group did a great job.
Ime, overall, just in your mind, how impressive was that second half, what you guys were able to do really defensively and taking it to them? And also just the feeling of being up 3-2 now, heading back to Boston in the Garden and the Garden crowd for a Game 6.
Yeah, it was big. You know, to be that close and know we didn't play our best in the first half, we just talked about flipping the script and playing a really good second half, a really clean second half. And so we did that. Guys, you know, obviously JT, JB got it going. Both those guys almost triple-double and 25 points for JB. But it was simply, like I said, taking care of the basketball, the emphasis of this whole series, and limit them to one shot. And so we're guarding extremely well. It's impressive to hold a team to 80, you know, not playing your best offensive game. But as I always say, we rely on the defensive end. Know our offense will pick up eventually, and when we get those stops and get out and run, you know, we're kind of a lethal team on both ends. But to your point, I'm sorry. Great to be up 3-2. Obviously going back home, you don't want to be down to elimination game, and to have it on our home court is an advantage, but they beat us there already, so we have to come out with the same urgency after these last 2 wins, trying to put it away.
You know, you guys gave up home court advantage back in Boston. There was like not a lot of concern. There were some teams might get worried. You got 3 left and 2 on the road. You have a really sloppy first half here. Things are going poorly. What is it about you guys, especially as time has passed, that like these things aren't rattling you and you guys are able to stay so steady when you need to?
Yeah, I would say our defense, we stayed steady there. We kept our composure tonight as opposed to some other games where we weren't playing our best game and we kind of, you know, fell off a cliff in those 2 quarters. And tonight we kept our composure. We still relied on our defense, stayed solid there, and knew if we got our offensive game going, literally taking care of the ball and getting shots up, we'd be in good shape. And so to hold them to that number in the first half when we weren't playing our best offensively, it's like we always say, we rely on our defense. That travels well with us. We knew we were guarding at a high enough level that if we just turned the corner offensively, we'd be in good shape. And so that was what the message was. We're not playing our best, close game, and if we just have a decent to above average half, we'll be in good shape.
Marcus Smart picked up his 4th foul early in the third quarter. Looked like he was waving you guys off to try to stay in the game. What's the communication like there? And in that moment, how much was the importance of that third quarter stretch a factor in your decision to keep him on the court?
Yeah, it's both. It's trusting Marcus that he knows how to play with those 4 fouls. You know, partially is Derek is right there in case, you know, so you got a really good, obviously, insurance policy. But at the same time, we were playing really well that third quarter and didn't want to break the momentum with that group. And so you trust your guys. You know, he understands the situation, fouls, and not getting his 5th. And so that communication's open. Tell him to be smart. Then we can get him out later in the quarter when we can. And like I said, the third quarter was really going well for us on both ends and didn't want to break that momentum.
Was Rob dealing with something at the beginning of the third?
He just got an extra stretch at halftime. Kind of uncommon, but When he was going to come out, he just wanted extra stretch and give him a little more time, and went with Grant to start the third. But nothing specific, just a little body overall tightness, cramping, I guess, or whatever it may be.
How did Marcus look to you?
Solid. I mean, he knows how to play through it, and with the injury, you could tell he was not as explosive or quick, but what he does on the defensive end and just in general being a leader out there carries over well for us, regardless of the stat sheet. He gets us into our sets, and then it was obviously nice to have Derek, take up the majority of the load with Marcus not being 100%. But credit to him for playing, just as Rob has, and we know the importance of whether it's 15, 20 minutes, what we get from those guys is invaluable.
JT was grabbing at his shoulder a ton in the first half, and just JB was out of his rhythm. Your top players just weren't really finding their shots. And as the game went on, their top guys seemed to kind of wear down, and that's when your best guys really stepped up. So just how is your team designed well to be able to just outlast your opponent and strike late?
I think the mental stress and strain we put on some teams with our defense has worked and carried us through the playoffs at times. You saw in the Brooklyn series, guys started to wear down. Game 7 looked like Antetokounmpo slowed down some, but just having all those bodies to continue to throw at people, wears down on them physically and mentally, making it tough as long as we don't give them easy baskets in transition. And then with our guys, we're always confident that they'll get it going and figure it out eventually. To your point, we didn't play our best first half with those two, and it takes 1 or 2 shots to go down for them to get going. And so our thing was take care of the ball, make them score in the half court, get stops and get out and run. And I think we did that in the second half, but always staying confident in those guys, knowing they can get it going at the drop of a dime.
Kind of to that end, what was the difference in your mind from first half Jalen to what we saw in the second half?
He didn't turn it over.
Before Game 4, Derek talked about wanting to be more aggressive, and he was going to make a point of being more aggressive. How has that aggressiveness really played out in terms of benefiting you guys over these past couple of games?
You said Derek?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think obviously starting last game with Marcus out put him in a position to, make more plays. He's going to have a weaker defender on him with, JB and JT kind of being blanketed, and he can take advantage of those. Capable scorer, driver, initiator, and one of our best guys, quick decisions, getting downhill and making plays. And so we trusted him to do that. Took advantage of some double teams on Jayson, and he's really good at making the play behind. And so we trust him to get the ball in the middle, whether he has a floater, pull-up, or finding guys on the perimeter. So I think last game kind of sparked it with the extra opportunity of Marcus being out, and now it's great to have him back in that role, coming out with the same aggression off the bench.
And this step, getting to the conference finals, getting on the verge of the finals, is a step that this franchise got to a bunch the past several years. You've obviously been in the finals, you've won a title. What's sort of the message over the next couple of days with this series going back home to, have the opportunity to close this out?
Nothing changes. We had to come out with the right mentality after a win, and we did that. We want to do the same and close it out at home and know the urgency of not coming back here. And so for our guys, it's just one more step and continue to grind it out. And, like I said, we wear teams out defensively and make it extra hard on them mentally and physically. And if we do that, we put ourselves in good shape and just not give up those 39-point quarters or the turnovers that give teams hope in life. And so we know what we're all about. And for us, I don't think anybody's looking at getting to the finals. We still know what the deal is and what the task at hand is.
You were talking about throwing different bodies at their top guys. You went to, it was Horford and Grant up on Butler, and then Rob on Bam, and those pick and rolls, just dropping as deep as you can. What made you want to do that, and what part of the court did you want to shrink it down to and make them play in?
Stay locked up to their shooters and make the others score. There's some of the guys that initiate offense for them, whether it's Bam or Butler as well, and then helping off Tucker some. And so really with that, Butler wasn't really looking to score. He was more of a screener and making plays in the pocket, and so he was slipping behind some of our switches, and so we wanted to keep a big on him and play him like a big and play in a more traditional drop coverage. And so he hurt us in the first half. We switched it up in the second half to limit his effectiveness as a screener.
So, sorry to go back to Jalen, but could you be a little more expansive beyond just the turnovers, cutting those down? But obviously, he was making baskets for you guys on the offensive end as well. Had the big dunk. Just kind of what clicked in for him there in that second half.
We got some really good looks. Even early in the second half, we missed some. I think once Jayson got going, they started to become more aggressive, and he got off the ball. And anytime Jalen's on the second side, he's lethal, whether it's to catch and shoot or pull it. And then we found him coming out timeouts for some quick drives that got him going. But his aggression was great. He made decisive decisions, quick, and didn't play in the crowd. And so he took care of the ball, got shots up, and whether he is in it, takes a tough pull up. Some guys are tough shot makers, and he's one of them. And we'd rather have him do that 100% of the time than turn the ball over. And so we just told him to get shots up. You see the crowd get off the ball, but be aggressive. We need it, and he did it. Thank you.
Is it a point, you reach a point where when it's obvious players are hurting, that you simply have to change things because they are not their best selves? Kyle, Jimmy, others maybe who are dealing.
No, look, we're not going to make any kind of deflection or any kind of excuse. Boston beat us tonight, and let's be clear about that. There's guys that are far from 100% on both sides, and that's why this is, just intense competition. It's playoff basketball. Even as poorly as we played offensively, we still were able to compete, defensively and hold them under 100. For the most part this season, when we've been able to keep teams under 100, we've been extremely successful. Sometimes that just happens. I would say for 3/4 of the game, or at least close to 3/4 of the game, I really liked a lot of the execution and the looks we were getting. We missed, a lot of open threes, and some other shots, either like around the basket or in the circle, at the rim that we normally make. And I thought we were staying the course, throughout all the misses, and staying mentally, tough, through all those moments, and then at the end of the third, those last probably 3 or 4 minutes of the third, and then into the fourth, I think the consecutive missed shots, open shots started to affect us, on the other end, and we started to break down a little bit on the other end. But we just have to stay the course, even as disappointing and as frustrating as this game, can be. We get on to Boston and come together and just figure that one out and come back here on the 29th.
Against a really good Celtics defense that has so many good defenders and it's kind of sagging guys into the paint. How tough is it to find that fine line between not settling for the outside shot, but also not trying to force anything inside?
I thought, like I said, I thought we did a pretty good job. I thought, our ability to generate the looks that we're accustomed to getting was arguably, maybe the best of the series, through 2.5 quarters of it. And then just the consecutive misses of open shots, I think affected us a little bit. I'll have to see. I think those open threes are the shots that we've made all year long. So that our guys are ignitable. You just see it, 2 or 3 of those go. All of a sudden, our guys feel like that's 10 in a row. That can turn, in a hurry. It didn't tonight. What I was hoping to see was, even through all the misses and some of the frustrating offensive possessions, that you still stay the course and make this a legit throwback playoff game where it ends up being in the high 80s or low 90s, and you give yourself a chance at the end. But we just weren't able to overcome those the inefficiency offensively. But I do want to get to the film. I know everybody says that afterwards, but I feel like we got shots in our wheelhouse for a large part of the night.
Eric, it seemed like Gabe gave you good energy off the bench, but Kyle and Max have made, I think, 1 shot between them in 2 games. So do you think they're pressing at all at this stage?
No, I don't. I think it's an easy thing to point to. If you have an open shot, you take it, you shoot it. Like that. Those are shots, that are fully into the context of what we do. I don't think either one of them played outside of themselves. Those are the offensive possessions that we've had, for a large part of the season. And even a lot of our actions and just how the offense was functioning, I thought was way more in our wheelhouse. We were much more purposeful and intentional. If you remove the emotion, of the misses, I don't even know. Okay, yeah, that's not a great 3-point percentage. I mean, we all felt it, we all saw it. That's why I want to be objective about it. They did block a couple of our threes, and look, they're a great defense. So it's not like we're going to score 130. What I'm looking at is, are we getting shots in our wheelhouse, shots that are in our strength zones, and if we're missing some of those shots, you can't, panic and just try to reinvent things. I know how ignitable our guys are. That can turn in a hurry, particularly on the road.
Ethan mentioned Gabe, and a lot of those guys are applying a lot of ball pressure, and you're trying to force turnovers. It seemed like you're getting those turnovers in the first half. In the second half, Boston, is it as simple as Boston cleaning it up and not giving you those live ball turnovers, or is it something else?
Yeah, again, Coop, I don't know if it's realistic to hold them to 79. In the playoffs, if you're holding them to 93, you think that, hold them under 100, you got a great chance to win it at home. Yes, there were some breakdowns defensively. I think the breakdowns happened, in the fourth quarter, just after a lot of frustrating, misses and shots that we're normally used to seeing go down. I think that probably affected us a little bit, but those are in the margins. I think defensively we did enough, certainly, in a playoff game to put ourselves in a position to win. We also had probably 4 or 5 deflections, hands on it. We're there. We're used to seeing those, turn into steals, and somehow, a cloud of dust, and they ended up with it and would hit a big one after that. There was just some really unfortunate bounces and things that led to baskets after a deflection.
Even when Boston had their 2 bigs out there, you went small when Bam wasn't in the game. What did you see that kind of got you to go that way, and how did you think that those lineups fared tonight?
Yeah, I thought it was good. And I thought I thought we were executing with purpose, with intention. It's not all perfect. We had some turnovers along the way, at key times when we had leads that possibly we could have pushed it a little bit further along. But again, I do think that we did get some open looks and shots that are in our offense, which is tough to generate against a really good defense, and tougher, to generate the further you go along in the playoffs. But open looks are things that we'll continue to build on.
How's the locker room right now? This is the first time this group has been in this situation.
Yeah, you gotta enjoy this. You do. Every time you're going to have, if you want to break through and punch a ticket to the finals, you're gonna have to do some ridiculously tough stuff. And getting on to Boston and figuring that out collectively, those are the emotions and those breakthroughs that you have that you remember the rest of your life, and bring this thing back on the 29th. That's all we talked about in there.
Spo, you mentioned several times in the last few days, at this stage in a series, everybody's dealing with something. Specific to Jimmy, how much do you think his knee issue is impacting the way he's been able to play in these last couple of games?
We're not making excuses for anything. We're not deflecting anything. We're not making excuses for it. We lost the game today. We had a tough loss in Boston. We're still alive. We got an opportunity to play in front of a great crowd. And an opportunity, to make a memory that you'll remember for a long time. That's all we're thinking about right now. And we have the kind of Warriors that are going to tape up, brace up, do whatever we got to do to get ready for the next one, and just embrace and enjoy that competition.
Hey, Spo. Jimmy Butler lives at the free throw line typically, not talking about his knee specifically, but only 6 free throws in the last 3 games. How do you get him back to the charity stripe?
Yeah, I think he had some really good, clean looks. And the way they're playing him, he might not be able to just like barrel down there and create a bunch of contact. He missed probably 3 or 4 that are right at the rim in the circle, then a couple, other pull-ups, and that's just the way the game goes. You make a few of those. Now if guys are leaning, he knows what to do with the rest of it. No, we're not making any excuses for any kind of health or anything like that. We're just going to figure it out, and get on up there to Boston and enjoy that competition.
All right, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you.
Did you get the sense after that first half that it wasn't going to take much to tip this game if somebody got hot?
No. For us was just to come out and continue to play the way that we've established. And in the first half, it was tough because, weren't hitting shots, we're turning the ball over. But the key for us was continuing to do what we do, defending, and then on offense, just playing how we play. And eventually, we were able to get it going.
Yeah. What do you think's kind of gotten you to this point as a team where you guys can shake off a half like that, where it seems like everything's going wrong, but you kind of aren't affected by it and just refocus?
It's really experience, for us, and just even in these playoffs, we've been put in different positions, different situations, and even in this series, I feel like we've grown as a group. And it's something that we're better for each game. We're trying to learn and trying to be better.
You've made a lot of trips to the playoffs over the years. What is the message to the group over the next couple of days about the opportunity that you guys have in front of you on Friday?
Just continuing to do what we've been doing, preparing, getting our rest, approaching that game on Friday at home, and just do what we do.
What changed in the third quarter?
Well, we stopped turning the ball over. That was a big thing, and we were able to. We continue to defend, but turnovers, I think that was the biggest thing.
What do you think got Jayson and Jalen going?
I'm not sure. Honestly, I'm not sure. I just think we just kept playing, and those guys they're very gifted scorers, and it's like you get a shot to go in, or you get something, and they feel good, and we just kind of got it going, and it was great to see.
You haven't had 2 days off in a row in like almost a month now, and this was the game where it really seemed like you guys just were able to outlast them with energy. What is it about just the way this team is structured and operates and communicates that allows you to do that?
It's just just us continuing to play our style of basketball, doing the little things. And D. White for us was unbelievable tonight. He was great. His energy, his activity, just such a smart player. Made really big plays, and people probably won't talk about it enough. But for me, he was huge. The minutes that he gave us and the impact that he had on this game, and it's going to take different guys to be able to step up and do things like that.
What type of lift, over here, Al, what type of lift does Rob give you guys defensively when he's playing like he has
Huge. huge. Rob is obviously a very big part of what we do, and I'm just impressed with him, with his poise, and just him being able to go out there and be put in different positions, and he's great. He's great defensively. We're very grateful that he's able to play and he's given us some minutes, but he's huge for us.
Yeah, along those lines, Ime said, I mean, whatever you can get from Rob and Marcus, even if they're not 100%, is invaluable. I mean, how important is it to have them on the floor?
It's very important. Marcus does so much for our group, and his plays, his leadership, we need him. We need him, and I wasn't expecting that he was going to play today, so I was very happy to see him out there. And Rob, obviously the same way. That's our guy. We need him. We need him playing like he's playing now with a lot of energy, and just very glad that we have all our guys.
Jalen, I guess to put it simply, what was the difference for you between the first and second halves?
Just got to get settled in, keep being aggressive, stop turning the ball over. We gave them a lot more shots than we had in the first half, and we was only down by 5. So we knew if we took care of it, and we would get some open opportunities and knock them down. So just continue to play basketball, be aggressive. That's why basketball is 48 minutes.
Ime said he talked to you early in the game about the turnovers that you were having. Just told you it's game 5. We can't be doing that anymore. What was that conversation? And then how have the Heat made things difficult on you, and how did you kind of overcome that in the second half?
Just play basketball. I mean, I think he was talking to the whole team. I wasn't the only person that had some turnovers, but I mean, it is what it is. I'm gonna keep being aggressive. I'm gonna keep getting into the paint, making them stop me. I just got to do a better job of finding the right guy, and hopefully, next game, some of those hand checking calls, I'll get one. But I'm gonna keep being aggressive and keep getting into the paint. But Miami does a good job of slapping down and reaching and grabbing and making it tough for you. So it's a little bit of both. I got to do a better job for sure, but overall as a team, we got to do a better job too.
Talen, you pride yourself on being a resilient player. You just were able to hit shots in the second half. You just seemed like you played with more focus and you were more comfortable. Why was that? Why were you just seem like a different player or more comfortable after halftime?
Same player, just had to get settled in. That's it. As the game wears on, some of that energy, some of that intensity starts to wear off. So, the game opens up a little bit. The game opened up for me in the second half. I didn't want to get down. I didn't want to look into the past, think that this game was over. My team needed me to come out and respond. First half was shit, threw it away, come out, play basketball in the second half.
You guys haven't had 2 days off in weeks now, but we've seen this in this game. It was another game where you were able to kind of outlast their top players and really strike at the end of the game. How is your defense allowing you to kind of have those opportunities, and what is it about just you and the way this team is?
Yeah, our defense is key. Every night we come out and hang our hat on that side of the ball. It was great to have, even in a limited role, Marcus and Rob to be able to be out there, because their presence on that side of the ball is felt. Those guys feel that. Rob does a great job of contesting shots, helps out everybody. Marcus, of course, being in the ball, doing what he does. Our defense is key, and every night we give ourselves a chance with our defense. We didn't play great in the first half, but we only gave up 42 points. Kept us in the game. We were down 5, got settled in the second half, and then the game opened up, and it was over from there. So our defense is what continues to win us games. We got to keep hanging our hat on that defensive side of the ball.
This obviously isn't the first time you've been through the ringer in the playoffs. Played a ton of playoff games, you and Jayson and Marcus. What is the message over the next couple of days as you guys have this opportunity in front of you to make it a step farther than you have before?
This is a great opportunity. Leave everything on the floor. You don't want any feelings of regret. We got an opportunity to do something with this group that's special. So let's not take that for granted. Let's come out tomorrow on our home floor or Friday on our home floor and play, the best version of basketball we played all season. It's a big game for us. So at the same time, just breathe, relax. Sometimes we can be a little bit too tense because we know how important, these moments are. But just come out and play our game, and we'll be fine.
Jalen, over here. Obviously, you and Jayson got it going in the fourth quarter, but just how big were Derek and Al just hitting shots, especially in that first half, which was a grind?
Yeah, Derek, the last 2 games has been fantastic. His contributions to our team is great. He might not get all the credit, but the way he started Game 4, where he came out and we was able to jump on him early, and then how he came out today, again, was huge. So Derek has been playing great these last 2 games. He's been essential. We need him to keep playing with that same type of aggression. He was just fantastic tonight. Poised, under control, made timely baskets. Al is reliable. Al does what he's been doing his whole career, stepping up in big moments, making timely shots, rebounding, being a defensive stopper for us, and also being that release valve. So, those 2 were definitely the story of the game tonight. They kept us in it defensively. When our offense wasn't going, Al and Derek, they had it going.
Over here, Jalen. How much do you and Jayson kind of feed off each other when you get hot like you did there in that second half?
We just play basketball. We always talking to each other, encouraging each other. We know what we're capable of. Sometimes it's, more so mental, trying to get over the adversity, or sometimes we're overthinking a little bit too much. So we just got to come out and play basketball. And we feel like there's not a lot of people who could play basketball with us too. So when he gets going, when I get going, we know that we're going to put ourselves in a good spot to win.
Jalen, a follow-up, I'm back here, to the earlier question on your conference finals experience. Is there any way that previous experience playing deep into the conference finals can help you on Friday night? And if so, what ways does it help?
Yeah, you could say that. It'll help. We had a lot of guys that's been in those moments, but, so have they. Miami, they have a lot of guys that, been to the finals or won championships. So I'm not sure how much it'll help against a team like Miami that's really experienced with a lot of vets. But definitely having experience and learning from it is an advantage. So, we just got to come out on our home floor, take care of business, play good basketball, take care of it, hit shots, and defend, and we'll be fine.
Jalen, we have one Zoom question back here from Mark D'Amico, and this is your final question. Thank you.
Hey, Jalen. Obviously, always nice to score 100+ and win by 20, but this one really felt like a slugfest from the opening tip. Just whichever team was kind of going to catch a rhythm early was the one that was going to run with it. Why is it important to be able to win ugly games in the playoffs, and what do you maybe enjoy about winning that way?
It's the playoffs. I mean, if you want to do anything special, that's what it's going to take. Winning on the road, winning when you're not hitting shots, winning when things aren't going your way. That is key. It's always going to be ups and downs. So finding different ways to win is a sign of a good team.
Thank you, Jalen.
Thank you, guys.
I guess this is to both of you guys. At this time of year, when the games mean the most, you want to be at your best, but there's also the grind of a season. Kyle, to you, what's it like to try to push through what you're pushing through? And Jimmy, the same to you. What's it like you trying to push through when clearly you guys do not seem to be your complete selves? Thank you.
Just trying to play and help the team win, no matter what situation we're in. I got to play better. I've been playing terrible. It is what it is. I'm out there, so I got to do a better job in general.
We both do. We all do. Missed a lot of shots. More than anything, we just had a lot of mental lapses in the second half on the defensive end, and then that was the game. I think we played a pretty decent first half, but you got to play 2 halves to win against them.
With the way Boston is kind of sagging guys into the paint, how is that affecting kind of what you guys want to do offensively and the shots you usually get?
We got to make shots, we do, but we also got to trust the pass. I think we get away from that at times and hit the open guy because there is 3, 4, 5 people in the paint at a time, whether it be us and them. So we just got to trust the pass, knowing that whenever we get in there and kick it out, we're going to make the shot.
Jimmy, when we asked you about this after last game, I know you said no, it had nothing to do with it, but I am curious, when did you start feeling the irritation in your knee that the team brought up in the middle of game 3?
Man, honestly, it doesn't matter. If I'm out there, I gotta do better. I gotta find a way to help us win, and I haven't been doing that. I'm fine. My knee is okay. I just gotta do better. It's no excuse.
Kyle, you guys have been such a successful shooting team all year. Spoke like the looks you guys got tonight. How do you keep that confidence up for your shooters to get some of those to knock down?
I mean, that's what we do. You know, we've had a couple bad shooting games, but, you know, we've got good looks. And, you know, we got 45 threes off tonight. I mean, just didn't make any. I think we just got to continue to just keep working. It's the first of 4, so, you know, we got to go into a hostile environment. You know, they'll be amped up, but, you know, I like what our team can do. I like, you know, our opportunity that we have, and we got to go in there and fight.
Jimmy, you guys have obviously been a no-excuse team for years, but with the way the offense is struggling and the injury issues that everybody's dealing with, what gives you the confidence right now that you can go into Boston and win Game 6?
Besides the fact that anything is possible, we just know what we're capable of. We know we can play some really good basketball, and we know that we're going to play some really good basketball, and it's going to have to start in this next game up in Boston. But I just think that we know that we can win.
Kyle, your injury is hard to play through. As you know, I mean, almost any. I mean, just with the way that it limits anybody that has a hamstring. But do you see areas even while limited that you feel like you can make more of an impact than you've been able to make?
I think I'm out there. I got to play better in general, no matter what happens. You know, it's a team game, and we're out there together. For me, just being in the right spots defensively and setting guys up offensively. I mean, if I'm out there, I got to play and play better. It's simple as that.
Jimmy, you mentioned some of the defensive breakdowns in the second half. Do you feel like the offensive struggles are wearing the defense down?
We've been like that all year long. We're not making shots. We're not guarding anybody. I've said it over and over again. So, I mean, I hope that we do make shots, but even when we don't, we got to figure out a way to get stops and not worry about that end of the floor, knowing if we play basketball the right way that the shots will fall. So whether we make shots next game or not, the only way we got a shot is if we guard.
All right, guys, thank you.
What's it like when you see Kyle not able to be himself because of the hamstring? When you see Jimmy with the struggles he's going through shooting because of the knee? What's it like to be out there on the court and know that both of those guys are a lot different when healthy than what we've seen the last couple?
Gotta adapt. You know, in my opinion, I feel like everybody's hurt around this time of year. We're all bumped and bruises. You know, we still lining up. Still got to play these games. We still want to win.
You guys were the top three-point shooting team in the regular season. How do you, the guys in the locker room, kind of explain just the outside shooting struggles in the series and even just in the playoffs in general for this team?
I mean, that's the playoffs. Obviously, we got to shoot better, but at the end of the day, can't hang our hat on threes. You know, I feel like what we went wrong was on the defensive end.
Bam, knowing that Jimmy and Kyle are going through some stuff, you've already had a really good performance in Boston on the road. Do you feel like you have to call more upon yourself if they are a little bit banged up throughout the rest of the series?
Yeah, I do. You know, like you said, they're banged up. You know, dudes is going through shooting struggles. So, yeah,
put it on me.
And Jimmy just mentioned again something he's mentioned throughout the course of the season, which is that when the offense struggles, sometimes the defense ends up struggling as a result. Do you feel like that's a pattern that's happening in the series too, that you guys need to shake a little bit?
Yeah, I feel like when we miss shots, that alters our defense. We got to play through that. Even though we're not making shots, we still got to get shot. We still got to get stops.
All right, Bam, thank you.
Black Lives Matter, people.
What was said at halftime amongst you guys, and how nice was it to see what you guys were able to accomplish both offensively and defensively in that second half?
Essentially, we had too many turnovers. We didn't like how we were playing, and we were still only down 5. And basically just, talked about how much does it mean to us. We know all the plays and things like that, but it's all the 50-50 balls and hustle plays and things like that, about toughness and effort. So that's all we talked about was, playing better, taking care of the ball, and just competing because we know what's on the line.
Jayson, you were grabbing at your shoulder a lot. It seemed like it was really bothering you, and you got better throughout the game as they started to wear down. How did you manage that last set, and how does this team just tend to manage to outlast the opponent?
It was bothering me, but I got Nick, my trainer. He take care of me, and we just figure it out. Obviously, they're a really good team. Both teams play hard and compete and things like that. But guys like D. White and obviously Smart being out there, just his presence, and JB made some big shots. Everybody contributed from the beginning to the end.
Jayson, you've been in this position before with a chance to go to the finals. Does this feel different?
Yeah, it does. My rookie year, being up 3-2. Obviously, different team now. I'm a lot better. JB is. We're just older. And we've been through those tough times. But the mindset and the talk that we had after the game was, we was down 3-2 last time and had to go on the road and win a game 6, and we did. So, we can't think that it's over with, that, we need to go back home like we down 3-2. With that sense of urgency, like that it's a must-win game, not relaxing because we up, because it's possible. Obviously we did it last series. So knowing that, and talking about that, and obviously enjoying this one, but not being satisfied, knowing that we still got things to clean up. We still need to play better. And, the job's just not finished yet.
Jayson over here. How well do you and Jalen feed off each other like you do there in that third and fourth quarter today?
Yeah. My teammate for 5 years, and watch a lot of film together, talk a lot throughout the game. And I knew that he had it going, so, with me kind of bringing the ball up and things like that, just trying to find him, find a hot hand, for him to score, make the right play. And that's just something that we've gotten so much better at over the course of these last couple of years.
Did it feel like after that first half when you guys had that talk in the locker room that if you could get a burst there in the third quarter, given everything that happened, the game was there for you guys? If you could just start to play a little bit better?
We definitely talked about starting and having a good third quarter. Obviously, game 1, we had a terrible third quarter, and we're aware of that, and we talked about that. So, we wanted to start off well, limit our turnovers, and give ourselves a chance.
Just talked about it before, but obviously this is, not the first time you guys have been in this position, have a chance to close this thing out at home. Kind of what's the message over the next couple days for the group, the opportunity that you guys have in front of you now?
Don't look past them. Don't believe, what you guys say on TV that, we're going to championship, because this is far from over. And, I think, we talked about, we just went into Milwaukee and won a, very big game 6. So,
know that it's possible. And, like we came into the mindset the night that was must-win game, that we need to carry that over. And, go into Friday like we down 3-2. This is a great team, well coached. They're not going to give up. It's not going to be easy. So, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a challenge, but it's going to be fun.
Right here, Jason. Throughout this postseason run, your pick and roll usage has shot up from the regular season. You've seen unders, you've seen show and recovers, you've seen blitzes. What is your comfort level as a lead ball handler right now?
Comfort level.
What you seen?
Like a scale of 1 to 10.
Sure.
Very comfortable. Each series presents different challenges. Miami guards differently than Milwaukee did. So, watching film from game to game, that's the key. That's what it's all about, watching film, seeing what you did well, what you can improve on, what adjustments they might make, and, kind of what to be ready for.